Hello everyone and welcome back to Austin Plus. Yes, Austin Plus, where today we are actually diverting from DC and Marvel and all my usual things, and today we are talking about The Matrix. One of the most iconic choices in cinema comes down to two pills. The blue pill offers comfort, ignorance, and the return to a normal life, and the red pill promises truth no matter how painful it may be. Neo chooses the red pill, beginning his journey as humanity's greatest hero. But what was actually the better choice? If the goal was Neo's own happiness, survival, and quality of life, would taking the blue pill actually have given him a better future? So today we are answering the question, what would have been better for Neo in The Matrix, the red or the blue pill? We obviously know what he chose in the long run, but we're going to discuss them now. So without further ado, let's get into it. Now, both of these pills do offer something completely different. They both represent something completely different, and they offer two very different plots. The red and blue pills are more than like plot devices, but they represent two completely different philosophies. The blue pill allows Neo to remain inside the Matrix, living an ordinary life without ever knowing the horrifying truth about reality. Now, the red pill strips away that illusion forever, forcing him to confront a world devastated by machines where survival is pretty uncertain. Now, the choice isn't simply between truth and lies, but between comfort and responsibility, and I think that's such a good contrast, especially like in cinema these days. You represent something that is so heartfelt and is so real into two choices, and that's, I think, it's such a great and weird concept at the same time. Life of the blue pill would be very different to what we saw. Obviously, he took the red pill. The life of the blue pill would be very, very interesting is the word I would go with. Had Neo taken the blue pill, his life would likely have continued just as much as it always had. He would return to his job, maintain his relationships, and remain unaware that his entire existence was a simulation. Now, from his perspective, life could have contained happiness, ambition, and purpose. Although he would be living a lie, he would never experience the constant danger, loss, and psychological burden that came with becoming humanity's chosen savior. Now, the cost of the red pill. I think choosing the red pill gives Neo the truth, but it also demands enormous sacrifice. I think it loses the comfortable life that he once knew. He witnesses humanity's near extinction, and he repeatedly risks his life when he has that after the effects of the red pill, and carries this immense responsibility to protect both Zion and the Matrix. Now, I think that's where this whole idea of responsibility comes in. He is trying to understand life at its fullest, like all the good, all the bad, and that's what the red pill does. And the red pill can extremify, if that's even a word, extremify everything. Now, every victory comes at a cost of friends, allies, and his own peace of mind. Freedom does grant him more meaning, but it also guaranteed suffering, unlike anything he could actually have ever imagined. So that, in making everything even a bit more extreme does make it a bit more interesting. That's no-brainer. But I think the blue pill offers a safety net, and I think the idea of living a lie in I think is probably the off-putting aspect. That's why he chose the red pill. In an ideal world, you take the blue pill. In reality, the red pill is the more no-brainer. Now, the biggest, I think, argument that you could make with both of these is, you could make it with one question, and is does truth actually always lead to happiness? Eek. Because one of the central questions of The Matrix is whether knowing the truth automatically makes your life better. Characters like Cypher argue that ignorance can be preferable if reality offers nothing than pain and hopelessness. But Neo ultimately reaches the opposite conclusion, believing that the authentic freedom is far worse, is so much more worth the sacrifice, or any sacrifice for that matter. But the debate isn't about which life is easier, it is about whether the more meaningful life requires genuine choice, even if that choice leads to a bit of hardship. Now, from a cinema from a cinema point of view or an audience point of view, yes, the red pill, because then we can milk as many movies as we can. Don't get me wrong, some of them were shit, but you can obviously, as I said, milk as much as you possibly want to. However, I think it would have been a cool, spin-off if we saw the results of the blue pill. The biggest takeaway is red is for responsibility, blue is for, I don't know what you would represent, blue in the face. I don't really know, red, responsibility. But Neo's responsibility to humanity is probably the biggest contrast in this whole franchise. While the blue pill may have even been better for Neo as an individual, it would have been better devastating for everyone else. Without Neo embracing his role as the One, humanity's resistance would almost certainly fail, leaving the machines in complete control. His decisions transforms him from an ordinary programmer into the person capable of changing the fate of an entire species. But in that sense, the red pill benefits humanity far more than it actually benefits Neo himself. So you are doing stuff for the greater good. So you're not doing it for the one, you're doing it for the all. And I think that's it's one for all for one. That doesn't stand in this. And to see that type of character growth in a what was supposed to be a standalone film to start with, I think is brilliant. However, this does beg a question: could Neo actually ever be truly happy with the idea of Neo benefiting humanity than himself? Even if Neo did remain inside the Matrix, there are hints that would continue feeling something was wrong with the world around him. His search for Morpheus began long before he was even offered either pill, suggesting that doubt and curiosity were already defining his life. Taking the blue pill might have restored temporary normality, but it also may never have actually erased that feeling that something fundamentally was missing, making his lasting happiness difficult to achieve. So you are sacrificing one of life's, I think, it's weird because happiness is obviously something that everyone deserves, but he chose to sacrifice that for the greater good and for humanity, and that is a story that I think is worth telling in any sort of film, and it's great character development, and to show that, and I guess again in what was meant to be a standalone film, is great. So overall, which choice was actually better? Again, it depends on how you look at it. If you look at it from the humanity point of view, the red pill. If you look at it from a selfish point of view, the blue pill. The answer depends entirely on how better is defined. If the goal is personal safety, comfort, and relatively peaceful life, the blue pill offers Neo a far happier existence. However, its fulfillment comes from truth, purpose, and the freedom to genuine choices. The red pill becomes the only option in that case. One preserves a comfortable illusion, while the other allows Neo to become something far greater than himself. And that is why the red pill is ultimately better. And that is why they chose the red pill. Because I saw someone saying the blue pill is the better option. And that's why this video exists. For his own happiness, the blue pill actually would have been the far easier choice. But for his growth, purpose, and the future of humanity, the red pill was indispensable. In the end, the Matrix does suggest that the difficult truth is ultimately more valuable than the comfortable lie. Even if that truth changes your life forever. But that's the end of today's video, and I hope you all enjoyed it, and if you did, please leave a like and subscribe and comment what you would like to see on this channel. But I hope you have an amazing day as always, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye bye. Yeah.